What is up, rock and metal fans? I'm back again once more with a new installment in this series, and I do apologize for being away for so long. But anyway, we just wanted to get down to something a little bit fun, and okay, and I want to avoid using these terms which I just hate, like 80s bands, hair metal, glam rock. It just doesn't sit well with me. Rock is rock. I mean, even the term classic rock. I mean, what the hell is that even be anyway? Sorry, that's just my view, guys. I just don't subscribe to it. For me, rock and metal are very organic forms of music. They're timeless. There are so many records you play even now that don't sound dated in any way. They sound as fresh and as relevant as they could possibly be. So for this video, I actually want to do something where I really wanted to carve out about some of the bands that are still doing a lot of stuff, but I wish would get a little more mainstream attention. And I just really wanted to help, like I'm doing with this series, to help point people in the direction of what records they can really check out if they want to get into them. So just to begin with, let's start off with these guys, and this band is called FireHouse. Now guys, I gotta tell you one thing. The first song that is obviously coming off of this record that you have to check out, which it just pulls you in, is All She Wrote. Now obviously this album had a lot of other great hits like Love of a Lifetime and a few others and so on, but that song is really what got me interested in this band many years back. And I would really urge you guys to check at least this album out, because it just shows a lot of great quality, focus, and musicianship overall. So that's definitely something that's interesting, which then sort of leads me to this band, which I'm sure a lot of you guys know, but it's Europe. Yeah. And while Europe is continuing to tour and release a lot of great records and albums, and credit to them for the kind of work that they're putting in. I think Joey Tempest is one of the most phenomenal frontmen and vocalists ever, but it's really this record, the Countdown record, that is really what stands as a testament of just how good and how sharp these guys were, and being such a powerhouse, and really coming with one of the most recognizable tunes. I would even call it tune. I mean, the final Countdown, the title track, just that tune which is used in video games and movies, and is still being even recognized today, even at New Year's Eve's bashes. So this is really an album that has even much more. It has songs like Rock the Night, Cherokee, and so on. And I would really urge you guys to have a look at this and check this album, because there's a lot that it has to offer as well. And then that brings me to these guys. Now, I know a lot of guys are going to say that, well, Skid Row doesn't need Sebastian Bach, and a lot of guys are going to say that Sebastian Bach is Skid Row and so on, but I don't want to get into an argument about that. I'm not going to debate that. I just want to keep things healthy and focus on the music, and I know a lot of you guys do agree with me and appreciate that. But for those who don't, I would just urge you guys to at least acknowledge the fact that when Sebastian and the rest of the Skid Row guys were together, while obviously a lot of people talk about the first record, which I think celebrated its 30th anniversary earlier this year, if I'm not wrong, it's really this album, Slave to the Grind, that for me at least was a record that really really defined something very interesting about what hard rock is. They went even heavier in the early 90s when this record came out, when a lot of guys were trying to find that commercial sort of mainstream focus, especially a lot of rock and metal bands and so on. And there was nothing wrong with that. I mean, there are a lot of records which I like, and I liked a lot of the approaches that were used. But I think what Skid Row did a little differently was that they were willing to go against the tide. They were willing to go against the grain of what was kind of becoming the norm at that time of going commercial, and they were trying to find a heavier sound, and I think they achieved that. I mean, all in all, this is another perfect record, I mean, from start to finish. And I think Sebastian's vocals and Snake's guitar playing, and Rachel, and the rest of the guys, I mean, I'm sorry, I forgot the other guys' names at the moment, but I think that they really crafted one hell of a record. And for me, this is the bigger record of the two that are most remembered from Skid Row's discography. That's just my view. You don't have to agree with me. But I think for these three bands, and I obviously want to continue this series about talking select bands, and it's not that I'm trying to say the rest of the discographies are not good or the new stuff is very bland. It's not. But the purpose was to just give people a flavor and to figure out for new fans where they could start listening and getting into these bands. So Those are my thoughts, guys. You let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, I will see you guys soon. So take care and rock on.